loading the page.
See me live.
Yeah, that's why I say like that. I need to tell me something go wrong for. Hey, good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Let's just check it. They might have a little technical difficulty. Let me just check real quick. In the meantime, you can share the live.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
live.
yeah. Yeah, we're live, so I don't know why it's getting an issue.
Franco is feeling and he's tuned in.
Yes, Francois. You know already. Live. Hold on 1 second there, buddy. Yes, Francois. Francois. Excuse me, everybody. I'm sneezing all afternoon. Yeah. So, yeah, Brad. So we had the third weekend of the EPL.
Yeah,
Eventful weekend to say the
another
least.
eventful weekend.
Yes. That EPL level is no joke.
This season there, we're gonna break the record for red cards.
I think yellow and red for sure, both for them, because it's right. The way them referee giving them thing out there is like candy. Jesus.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, I Peru.
What is the good word, gentlemen?
We there.
This weekend is a weekend of comebacks, boy.
Digesting the weekend's results. The weekend of comebacks indeed.
Some
Yeah,
more
man.
satisfying than others.
Boy, let me tell you something now. The way our game start. We'll get to that. In the meantime, everybody, we appreciate if everybody can share the live. Share it. We want you guys' opinions. We want you guys to call in, give your opinions, as we've been having the last couple calls and the last couple lives, I should say. We're gonna keep it consistent. This is week 3 of the English Premier League. And I know we say we talk the thing sports. We talk a lot of football because that's pretty much what we watch. Apart from me, watching cricket. I think Kerry will try and get a little bit into it, but you're not yet there yet.
Yeah,
So
football and basketball for me, mainly.
Yeah. And the NFL season about to start up soon.
Yeah.
You can sprinkle some other things here and there, but as of now, the only thing that really hot and heavy right now is football.
You know what we should do? We should do another fantasy football. NFL.
Boy.
When we did that, I was much more interested in the games. I was following the games, I was watching and things.
Yeah.
So I think that's one way for us to really branch out and actually be able to, talk a bit more about it.
Yep.
Shows and such.
Let me see if I can post the link for people to join if they want to join us. And then we could get started. But in the meantime, we could talk about the game. I think the first game we had on the weekend was Chelsea-Luton. I watched that game. We had Raheem Sterling with 2 goals.
Yeah, Sterling played really well.
And an assist.
Yeah.
He set up Jackson.
Yep.
I will say, Enzo controlling the game from the midfield. I'll give him his props. But considering the opposition.
Yeah, Luton and the bridge. I mean, you expect Chelsea to dominate the game, and
Right. Who else now? That impressed me. That Jackson kid. I feel he taking his time to he didn't really hit the ground running in terms of goals, but I feel he'll get a lot of goals with his pace.
Yeah.
He don't play well. So
Jackson.
Yeah.
I impressed him, because he make. I watch him very close in that game, making a lot of runs in between, in behind, keeping the defenders active, as an attacking player, which is very important. And the only thing I noticed with him is he cannot dribble a lot with his head down. You don't really.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think he still have the little nerves there, man. Once he settle himself, and they give him more clear instructions, he'll be good, man.
Yep. But Chelsea look better than they did Enzo, and I think that partnership of Enzo Caicedo in the midfield will do them well. I think
Who did they have now?
they started
Yeah.
Enzo, Caicedo,
And Gallagher.
Gallagher. I don't know. I think people looking down on Gallagher. Gallagher is a solid player for me.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah.
Remains to be seen what will happen when Lavia come back into the fold.
Yeah, I think the way it's setting up, they looking like they're going to push. They're going to push Enzo a little further forward to play.
Yeah.
Usually play Lavia
Yeah.
and thing in the back in the defensive mid. So
But the ball Enzo played for Sterling to get the assist for Jackson. That was a nice bit of football, but nice bit of football, right?
Yeah.
I have to say, I mean, Enzo, I think so far has shown that he has the capability. Although I had my doubts, I mean, obviously, young player, a lot of money. He played very well in the World Cup, but that was pretty much all we have seen. So, we'll see.
I think I always thought he was a good player, but I always prefer when it comes to spending 100 million, I would rather get 2 players in there because I really don't think, a player in that position should cost that much.
In midfielder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Madrid spend that kind of money on Bellingham, but Bellingham is more of a two-way player, and right now he that's scoring the goals for Madrid. So
yeah.
Right now, Madrid has been playing far up the field.
But actually, Bellingham has the same amount of goals as Eden Hazard has for Madrid in La Liga, which is crazy.
That is something else, eh? Wow.
And how long Hazard was there? 4 years?
Couple of years, yeah.
As much as they say in Chelsea, one thing Chelsea have a habit of getting rid of players that fall off the wagon after they leave, because they make a money on Hazard. It look like so far they get away with robbery on Havertz, and Mason Mount, the jury is still out, but I mean the kind of money they pay for him. So
Well, they did the same with Lukaku. How much they sold him, then they buy him back?
Yep.
How much you bought him back for?
They have almost 100 million euro, I think. But Lukaku still on their books, I think.
They're still trying to offload him, so they have a week left? Matter of fact, a few days.
Yep.
The first, right? The transfer window closing.
Yeah.
So 5 days.
So let me just pull up the results. We can run through them and then we can talk about, as usual, we can talk about the games that kind of stood out. So, like I said, the first game for the weekend was Chelsea-Luton. Let me just make this a little bigger here, zoom in. Okay. Then you had West Ham. Oh boy, for a big win away to Brighton. That was a big win. Nobody saw it coming.
I wouldn't call that one a smash and grab, no, but that one was
tactical masterclass, man.
Yeah.
Game well executed.
We'll go with that.
Antonio in some stupid form, bro. Antonio in stupid form. That man playing with a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
And he looked very, very good. Very good.
What pros hit the ground running.
Yeah. 2 assists and a goal so far in 2 appearances.
Yeah.
So I mean people again, I think I told you that when you were talking, people look down on what pros say. I think
not people, but
the big clubs.
The big clubs.
You think you would think somebody in the big club, to me, a proven Premier League player that gives you that added dimension on dead balls. 20-25 mil to me is a throwaway to give Southampton for that man. You know?
I mean, I'll admit that he doesn't fit the type of profile of player that Klopp normally like in his midfield.
True. But to me, he could do a job next to Casemiro.
Oh yeah, I mean for sure.
But
that's neither here nor there. He's gone. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But so the next game we had was we had a slate of games at 10 o'clock. So we had the Arsenal game, Arsenal Fulham, Brentford, Crystal Palace. You had Everton, Wolves, and you had United, Nottingham Forest. Obviously we spent a lot of time talking about United. So let me go down the docket. So Arsenal was down in that game for a very long time. They came back. They were leading 2-1.
Arsenal conceded in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Yes.
First 2 minutes of the game.
And I think
Saka.
is that
Mistakes.
is
Yep.
that the third time that this has happened for this season? I think I was reading. Is it Arsenal that happened too? Like they've conceded very very early. I can't remember what team, but I was reading there was a team that has conceded early goals in each one of the games this season.
They've conceded
Anyway.
early, I believe, in a couple of their last few home games.
Oh, okay. So
But
maybe the home games.
not that problem next week for sure.
You think so?
Yeah, they wouldn't consider they might score early.
No, next week they'll have that same problem. I'm calling it right now. Next Sunday on the
But where we started slow, I mean, I don't know.
Well, only they starting slow, we starting slow, then we'll be all right.
Well, anyways.
But Fulham got that was a good point for Fulham. Away to Arsenal, huge point. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody. But that English Premier League boss, Mitrovic.
The game
Mitrovic is a player that they had that is not even there anymore.
Yeah. The game changed when they drop Havertz to the bench, they bring on Fabio Vieira. The game changed in Arsenal favor, man. They were on top from there, but they fall asleep on a set piece, and then that was it.
Yep.
I didn't watch that game. I only saw a couple highlights.
Yeah, but they really should be beating 10-man Fulham.
Yeah, man.
A red card. They should have see out the game comfortably.
Yep. And I think Arsenal fans were raving about the team that Arteta came out with. He almost had like a back five.
Yeah, Partey playing at right back and stepping into midfield, and Arsenal fans really saying, well, why not just play him in midfield and then put White at right back where he played
right
times last year. So the more the results come in mixed, is the more pressure that will be on Arteta to change it up.
He also played Kiwior, the Polish guy, right at left back, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that guy also steps into the midfield. Isn't he like a CDM by trade or centre back?
Not sure.
Not sure.
I don't know. I'm still trying to understand what exactly he's trying to achieve. If you're really just trying to shoehorn Kai Havertz into the starting lineup, or if he actually think that is how he wants his team to play.
Pressure mounting on him on Havertz for sure. Every bad pass, every offside call, pressure mounting on him.
I mean, if you think about it, Liverpool, there was a year that Liverpool pushed City all the way. And I think they lost the title by 1 point or something like that, right? And then the next year, they didn't change much. They bought a couple, key players in key positions and basically went again. So, to me, I don't understand why, Arteta is changing the team so much.
Yeah.
Right? You look at it and say, okay, Ben White, you bought him as a centre back, you put him at right back, he was playing really well at right back. So leave him there, right? You had Saliba and you had a partnership of Saliba and Gabriel. That did really well until Saliba got injured. Saliba is back healthy, but yet Gabriel can't start again.
I actually heard him in a press conference say Gabriel know why he not started. So I'm thinking that there might be something happening behind the scenes that we know the way about. But
it's all well and good when managers say those type of cryptic things, but at the end of the day, the fans don't know why, and the more results don't go their way on the pitch, is the more pressure will mount on him.
Yeah.
Yep. So I mean I don't understand why. Then he had then the midfield situation. You would think okay, Xhaka left, and they were thinking both Xhaka and Partey was gonna leave. Partey didn't leave. So now you have a midfield potentially of Partey, Rice, and Odegaard, which is a very formidable midfield. But you're playing Partey out of position. It's just confusing to me. And then again, there's a reason they pay these guys all this money to figure this out. But as fans, even not Arsenal fans, I can understand the fans' frustration because you had a good thing going. There was no need to really meddle with it too much. Add the key pieces and keep it moving.
Rice was just supposed to slot into that midfield there and continue.
Yep. All right. So then the next game we had, which I don't think any of us watched this game, Brentford Crystal Palace 1-1. In that game.
Highlights there.
Okay.
A pretty even game.
Now, the next game we're going to talk about the Everton and Wolves. Everton haven't scored 1 goal in 3 games.
Bro, you saw that save from Jose Sa where the ball hit Ting chest. I don't know. I feel Everton just unlucky. One Calvert-Lewin unlucky with injuries.
Winner for Wolves though.
Say again?
It was a late winner for Wolves.
Yeah.
That's a big 3 points, man. That's a big 3 points.
That's a relegation 6-pointer right there.
Yeah. Yep. As I tell you in a couple episodes ago, I really feel like Sondage might be the first to go. As much as they're running out of options, the results, you cannot really argue against the results. And if you continue in that way, 4 or 5 losses on the bounce, you might take some early action.
But to me, I know teams struggle with scoring goals, but bro, you could not 1 goal in 3 games. Come on. Even in a losing effort, maybe.
And they didn't bring in a striker, and they know Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
They're about to bring in somebody, though. As far as I see, they agree a fee for some player from another league.
Okay, well, we'll see. But the sign's not looking too good for Everton in the early days.
Yeah, relegation favorites here at the moment.
Yeah. So for Wolves though, that is their first points.
Yeah.
First
points in 3 games.
First points in 3 games.
So then the next game started very, very, very rocky, like Rockaway Beach, and then
rocky.
We were down 2-0 within like 3-4 minutes.
4 minutes.
And basically, we end up coming back in the game to win the game 3-2. You had goals by who scored? Ericsson,
Casemiro, and Bruno.
Casemiro and Bruno
for penalty.
A couple changes, things we spoke about in the past, right? Rashford back on the left side. Martial started the game up front. You had Mount didn't play. Mount was injured. So Ericsson played basically the whole game. I think he came off towards the end, but I think he played the whole game.
Yeah.
But starting that game, I was giving the manager a lot of fire, and I think, I don't know what it is. Last year, the steps he took as a manager, especially with the Ronaldo situation, a couple of the things that happened, it looked like he was putting his foot down and, basically running things. But this year, I don't really understand what's going on. We have a lot of players, and we tend to start games really and just really slowly. Really, really slowly, like we're not ready.
Yeah.
And one of the things I was listening to, I was watching on Sky Sports actually, and one of the commentators on Sky Sports was saying that he was observing the warm up before the game, and the warm up for Nottingham Forest was so much more intense than the United warm up. All the United guys were just taking free kicks and whatever, and just ambling around. So I don't know, maybe that's something that Ten Hag really, really need to look at, because this is not the first time this has happened. We tend to start games really, really slowly.
Too slow.
And we're not going to be coming back against better teams after you're down 2-0,
Yeah. I think part of it is mentality, with the players in general, because I seen it in some of their body language, like, they believe that they should be beating Forest, but they're not working to beat Forest. Like, Forest are just going to roll over and give you 3 points, right? You have to play and you have to take it. That is it. And them man, I
would say, so far I would say we played 3 games and we haven't played particularly well in any one, but we still have 6 points. So to me, that's if you have a positive spin on it, that's a positive spin. But next week gonna be a huge test against a team that's supposed to be challenging for the title. So we'll have to see how it goes with Arsenal next week. But if we show up anything like what we've been doing the last 3 games, I think we'll get beat quite easily. So
it's a familiar script there because in years past, a lot of analysts and pundits have been saying, like, they're not playing well, they get the result. But if you play like that at so and so, you'll get 5, and then it come to pass in a couple of games. I mean,
yeah,
you go to Arsenal, Liverpool, and you're down too early. Then you don't have to chase the game, and then when you chase in the game, their players can hurt you, and they go in the other way. And that's why you end up on the wrong end of a 5-0 score line. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, Ten Hag have work to do still. I mean, I still think that if we can, we should still sign another midfielder, and
So
definitely.
I saw a headline today saying Amrabat close, but I've been seeing that for 2 weeks now.
Summer. Yeah, we'll be here now all summer.
Yeah.
Supposedly, Amrabat has been told by United that they will buy him. But I know he wasn't even included in the Fiorentina squad for the Europa League games they had to play. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, really and truly, everything has to happen in the next 3, 4, 5 days. So, we'll see what's gonna happen. I still think left back wise, we need to look at what we can possibly sign. Look Shaw, the last couple of years, his injury record hasn't been that bad, but Luke Shaw notoriously has had injury concerns. So we need to look at what we're gonna do with the left back. So we sold Alex Telles and the other. I think the only other left back we have right now in the first team is Brendan Williams. So
no, you have Alvaro Fernandez.
Oh, Malacia
and Alvaro Fernandez. That kid was on loan last season.
Yeah, but I don't see. I don't know.
I would give it to him. I would let him play.
I don't see anything.
He played well in preseason.
I watch the game there, and I don't know. Maybe I don't know the managers again. They get paid a lot of money to make this, but I watching the game there, and there was a point where the Forest players played a little 1-2 around Dalu, and I'm watching Dalu when the man should be sprinting back, bro. The man is just like calmly jogging back, like no urgency, And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, United has to have some kind of video, analysis people who could go back and look at these things and show that to these guys. If you are playing like that, then I don't see how you can be justified to start the game in the English Premier League. To me, at the very least, you're supposed to give 100%. At the very least.
The players still look like they're not up to speed with fitness quite yet. Towards the end of the game, some of them guys look knackered, man. Casemiro, some of the other ones, they're looking like they're still building up their fitness.
That's true, but at the same time, I still find some of them guys playing entitled. Like they have to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when there are no consequences to bad play, well, that's what's gonna happen, In any aspect of life, if there are no bad consequences, people are gonna keep doing what they want. That's how it goes. All right, so the next game we're gonna touch. We didn't. I don't know if Kerry watched that game, but the Spurs beat Bournemouth away 2-0.
I did.
By all accounts, James Maddison has looked very very well to start the season. I watched him against United. He was very good, and
I think the way Postecoglou have them guys playing fitted Maddison quite well because right now he have the freedom to do what he wants. Right? Bissouma and that Sarr kid have legs behind him, right? Richarlison is still looking like day in headlights. Don't know his ass from his elbow. He does. You give him that, and maybe it's just that he lacking confidence because he get a chance to go through and he try and do something and end up losing the ball. But I think I would try Son up there and play Perisic.
I wouldn't change anything right now. I would leave it. What works working, I would leave it. If the wingers in the attacking midfielder scoring, Richarlison will even. I wouldn't change anything. The results coming.
That's true. How many points they have? They on what?
They should be on 7.
I think they 7. Yeah, they drew the first game and then they win the last 2 games. So
right.
Yep. All right. So the Aston Villa again rolling. They beat Burnley 3-1. Who scored in this game? Matty Cash with 2 goals.
Matic.
And Diaby again. Wow. That guy has hit the English game. He's on fire right now. Diaby. I see none of the points on my fantasy. I haven't checked my fantasy. Assist, goal, assist. Why?
You have him on your team, man.
Yes, dog. Points.
Yeah,
all right, so then I watched this game this morning. City, Sheffield United. I don't know, man. I feel like, a mistake, I would say, gave Sheffield United their goal. But teams like that, when you're playing against teams like City, you cannot take chances. That goal Rodri scored should have never happened. The left back, all he has to do is just kick the ball outside. At least live to fight another day.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't try and play body and whatever. And, next thing you know, Walker get the ball and back in your box. And next thing, 2 seconds later, you concede a goal after you literally just scored 3 minutes before. Bad play, in my opinion.
Kick it out, get your defensive shape back, and then you can go from there. Where the man take the ball from you on the byline there, trying to do what? I don't know.
I didn't see those.
And that game Haaland also had a missed penalty in that game as well. So I don't know. I know City, they're the favorites, but I just kind of feel like, they have enough quality to keep going. I don't want to say that they don't, but I think they're gonna get games, a lot tougher to win than normally without Kevin De Bruyne. So if they can keep pace with it with the other teams, I guess, or stay on top without him, then when he comes back, then that's it. But I don't know. I feel the other teams have an opportunity to try and go on a little run and put City under pressure. Get a 10-point lead, an 8-point lead, something, because normally they come back.
That's the thing. Nobody is gonna have that level of consistency to get away from City, because City, even without Kevin De Bruyne, still the most consistent.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
Brighton, City's the only team that's perfect still.
Brighton normally beat the teams you think they should be beating. And look at this weekend, fluke result. They lose. They lose this no, and then they lose this type of game. City, more often than not, outside the top 6, they beat who they're supposed to beat. There'll be 1 or 2 fluke results, a draw here, a draw there. But
they lost to Brentford twice last year.
Because the other teams like United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, they will drop points here and there, where I don't think City will as consistently. But we'll see. You never know.
Yep. We watch and see, man. Then the last game for the weekend was this classic there between Newcastle and Liverpool. I only watched like 10 minutes of this game, but Brad I
watch a lot of it.
Well, for starters, we start poorly. The last 3 games, we start very poorly. We're unsure about ourselves. I don't know. The midfield, the balance not quite there yet. Struggling to really pass it out of danger, and like last week again, Trent Alexander-Arnold gave away a goal cheaply with no danger because of a miscontrolled pass. So now, when you give away the first goal, now you're under pressure. These teams can sit back, and then 3 or 4 minutes later, after Trent gave away a goal, our captain get a red card.
It was a straight red.
Yeah,
straight red.
So now he's out for 3 games.
No, I think in that case it's 1.
Why?
1 game suspension.
Yeah.
3 game suspension is for violent conduct.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so 1 game suspension, so he'll miss the Aston Villa game next week. But from the 28th minute, we were down a man. But to be honest, we had a bit of a storm in the first half, but in the second half, Newcastle never really pushed. Like, they had their chances, they had a few options, but you know how Newcastle can be very, direct on the counter. They can be very aggressive. We didn't really see that, and I feel the more the game go on, I feel like we had a chance. I feel like Klopp take too long to make some certain substitutions, like Nunes. Apparently, he knew what he was doing because Nunes come on. Maybe he was waiting for the legs to tire a bit, but Nunes come on and save the day with 2 very, very clinical finishes.
I just want to highlight first.
The sense I get from Eddie Howe and them is that they were overconfident about the game. They take out their 2 biggest threats.
Yeah.
Anthony Gordon Anthony Gordon was doing what he wanted on that left side with Trent. Cutting inside, dribbling. The only thing they didn't have there was end product. And then
Yeah.
Isaac. Isaac was occupying much better spaces than Callum Wilson. But then again, by the time Callum Wilson came on, I think the game had started to shift. And I think Eddie Howe had sensed that, but then Callum Wilson just couldn't get up to speed. And then
Yeah.
what was it in midfield? It got Tonali. That was the other sub. I
And
think that move right there was
But I really just feel like it was just coming down to the fact that we needed a threat in behind, and Gakpo doesn't always offer that. I don't know if it's down to tactics or his preference, but he doesn't offer that run behind. But Nunes is always ready to run in behind, always on the heels of a defender, and he benefit today. But we saw the quality of Salah to play the pass to him. There had some rumors before the game that he agreed to go to Saudi, and so club say it's not true and Salah for sale. I think Salah would go, where he also would stay. I think it comes down to how much money is being offered. And I don't think like 80 million, 70 million they're talking about, I don't think that would do it. It has to be a ridiculous bid. Over
The
100
last
million.
cycle was over 100. Maybe I think last cycle was about 100 million pounds.
which team?
That wouldn't do
Which
it.
team?
I'm not sure.
Is it Al Ittihad?
No.
Because I just read that Al Ittihad, they put a stop to them making transfers until they clear off some of their transfer debt, so they can't sign any more players.
But the funny thing is,
I also saw that Benzema might be leaving.
leaving.
I think the coach will go before Benzema go. The talent is the ones that they bring there to attract. They didn't bring Nuno there to attract fans. They bring the likes of Benzema.
I mean, that brings us into another topic that we can touch on a little bit. So, when this Saudi things first started happening, we were wondering how is that going to impact, the overall European landscape, football and everything in Europe, specifically in England, because England over the last few years has spent a lot more money than every other league in Europe. And right now, basically, Saudi Arabia is coming on as another entity that can spend the kind of money that the English teams are spending. So, I mean, we obviously had the discussions about the MLS and these different places that players go normally when they, winding down in their career. But now you have a lot of younger people that are still, if you want to consider it in their prime, Nunes and all these guys. And then I think you just had this young, I think 21-year-old or 20-year-old Spanish guy who just signed. Who just signed there. So what are you guys' thoughts? Do you guys think this is something that UEFA, FIFA gonna step in on? I also heard rumors of them bringing the Saudi League into the Champions League in 2025.
I personally don't think that will happen. But that's just me. But the difference I feel, what I think the difference is, like we had Russia one time buying up stars, we had China one time, but like England will continue to spend a lot of money because if Saudi Arabia is spending it on the stars in England, then England making even more money and the league is already reached this league. They'll continue to spend. But the difference is the Premier League creates stars. You take away all the stars from Liverpool right now, more will emerge because the league is such a box office league. Young players coming through, exciting players, it creates stars. So the money will play, the Premier League, the stars will always be there. People talking about the Saudi Arabia taking the stars. Like, as much as I love Bobby Firmino, he wasn't exactly still on an upward trajectory. He was, 30, over 30. The money there, I feel like with the guy from Spain, the 21-year-old, is more about the team wanting the transfer fee than the player wanting to go and play in Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? Like, easily ended up in Napoli a couple of weeks before. So I think that Saudi Arabia thing, the hoopla will die down eventually because I don't think the league, like the strength for the Premier League is their worldwide audience and their fan base. I don't see Saudi having that anytime soon with these pensioners they sign in and some of these players. Like, as much as Kante is a big player, like I have not seen Kante since he transferred to Saudi. I haven't seen him kick a ball. I haven't seen, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like hoopla will die down. And if they have to join the framework of the UEFA, they're going to have to fall within the
exactly.
financial fair play
That's
rules.
exactly what I was going to touch on.
And these guys are not exactly youth players that you're buying for the future. So what happens in 2 years when their contracts up? Benzema 37.
Throw some more money at it.
Right. So then you come and buy, let's say buy a Rashford for 120 million, and man, you will just take that money, go and buy another star, and the Premier League will continue rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point about FFP too. I mean, really and truly, the Saudis have money to burn, but at the same time, if you're working within a certain framework, then then things have to go that way. Another big thing that I wanted to touch on this week on the show was the situation that happened after the Women's World Cup final with the what is it? The president of Spanish
President
football.
of the Spanish FA.
Yeah. And so for people who don't know, who are watching, basically Spain beat England in the final of the Women's World Cup a couple of weeks ago, and at the end of the game, when the women were collecting their medals and stuff, this guy was overly
exuberant.
Overly exuberant. He was hugging them, he was lifting them, and he ended up kissing one of the young ladies on the mouth, which she did not consent to, as she has said. And they also had another incident where they said he was sitting next to the Spanish royal family, and he kind of like grabbed his crotch or something like that when he was celebrating. But his behavior was just completely out of line for somebody, it's out of line for anybody, but especially for somebody in that position, right? Basically the president of the Spanish Football Association. So there's been uproar, in world football, in men's football, women's football. A lot of people have been protesting, asking for him to step down, and he has come out and said that he will not step down. And the last thing I think I heard that FIFA suspended him, pending some type of investigation. It's always pending an investigation, but all of us can see what happened on the TV. So I don't know what investigation they're doing again, but
I think the whole team, the whole Spanish women's team, signed a petition, and all of the female Spanish players that didn't get called for the World Cup signed that petition as well.
Yeah, they say they're not gonna play unless he stepped down. And some of the men's players also, Spain players come out and say they're not gonna play for Spain unless he stepped down.
Yeah. I think I also read that even before the World Cup, they had a lot of issues because I think up to 15 members of the Spanish women's first team signed paperwork that if he and the coach was still there, that they would not play. And I think only 3 out of the 15 went to the World Cup. The rest didn't go. So, this is something that's huge. And, as 3 young men ourselves, well, youngish. I mean, those type of behaviors that, completely uncalled for, completely uncalled for. We've seen in society a lot where, men, people in general, but mostly men tend to think that, a woman saying no or, not giving you clear, permission to engage in some type of sexual act, and people figure, well, it's okay, if she just smile, it's okay. Like, we need to be very careful with these type of things, people, I think, unless if you know for sure that somebody is giving you consent, and sometimes you need to just flat out ask because
but when you consider where it happened, like right there in the celebration, in the immediate aftermath of the celebration, it was just outrageous.
Yep.
And then
like that, like
I don't think he's issued an apology of anything. He never said that, it was just he got carried away or something. But either way, regardless of whether you make that apology or not, to me, he should just step down.
Right? And the other thing, this is like the second in the last 6 months, I would say. This is like the second huge uproar with Spanish football and the people that are running Spanish football with the whole Vinicius racism thing. And them, basically saying that, Vinicius should watch how he conducts himself and, this and that. I mean, these things here, we have all these campaigns in football, kick it out, and all these different campaigns about racism and all these things. When time comes like this, Infantino, who's FIFA's president, he's quick to talk about a lot of things, but he has said nothing about this Spanish situation.
It's a Brazilian player not to dance when he scores.
It's
Yeah, I mean, like,
it's quite alarming.
it's victim
It's
blaming
quite
again.
alarming, and it's something that in general in society we need to be careful of. And when we see this type of behaviors, even within our environment or workplace, whatever, we should call it out. Make it more normal to call these things out because, if we have daughters, if anybody have a daughter and they have to be going through that, nobody wants, your daughter, your cousin, your sister, whoever to be going through that type of stuff, So we have to be mindful of that and stuff. So, we're looking to see what happens. We're looking to hear what the president, well, he might be the former president of the FA after this week, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
That's that. Yeah. So fellas, what stand out for you all for this weekend in the league?
Yellow cards. Yellow cards. There were a number of games where there were like 4, 5, 6 yellow cards for time wasting, and that resulted in a lot more red cards being given.
But you think the refs will adjust that a bit?
Oh, I don't think they will, and I think they shouldn't, and it will result in players in their behavior. Like you going out for a throw in, they kicking the ball. Like today, although today I disagreed. Trent was fouled, pushed out of bounds, and then he rolled the ball back onto the pitch and he get a yellow card. I find that was nonsense. The referee supposed to punish the player committing the foul. He didn't like throw the ball, he just roll it back on the pitch. You know what I mean? So in them instances there, it's inconsistent.
Trent was fouled, or Trent fouled somebody?
Trent was fouled.
So why would he get a yellow?
Because when he pushed him off the pitch and when he get up, he rolled the ball. He rolled the ball away from him. And the ref is clamping down on that this year. Like if you like when Rashford kicked the ball away during the game yesterday, you get a yellow card for that. We're gonna have a lot of red cards this year and going to impact games. So far, Liverpool 2 weekends running, we get a victory after getting a red card. 10 men looking like.
But yeah, I mean, that's something that the refs on it. But I think what I would say is that if the referees are gonna start trying to clamp down on time wasting and stuff, they need to really like try to pay attention to who they're giving the cards, and because sometimes as we say in other games, the person getting the yellow card is not the person who had the infraction. It's not the person who did, like I think that happened in the Arsenal game. They end up causing them to go down to 10 men, and then so and then even and I think maybe something that they need to look at is possibly if the yellow cards or whatever were given incorrectly or unfairly or whatever, maybe they need to get to the point of being able to rescind some of these yellow cards, stuff like that, because now not just everybody's getting yellow cards more often, but did they even change the threshold for how many yellow cards you have to get before you get a ban, right? Or suspension. So
5 for the first suspension, 10 for the second.
So that means you're gonna have a lot more teams having that. I mean, and I know the objective is to change the way the players conduct themselves, right? But I mean, again, this is still sport, and I don't really like, to me, when I see sport played with no emotion, or like you want people gonna be into it. They want to do their best, they wanna win, they wanna, So I don't understand. I understand why they're doing it, but I think they also need to look at fine tuning it a little bit,
I like that they're addressing the players talking back to the referee. Though my pet peeve is when players complain to referees incessantly. Like the referee not gonna change his decision, as wrong as it may be, as right as it may be. He's not gonna change it. Get on with the game. I mean, like initially, you can protest penalty, blah blah.
You can say a thing, but you have to control it and limit yourself.
Well, like today, Virgil give the referee some words I could tell, but he had already get the red card. So if he say what he want to say, but he definitely give the referee some words. That's checking like the decision made already.
But that Virgil thing, they know. that should have probably been a yellow card, you know? Because
I think it could have been a red.
because I think the rule, I think they changed the rule, right? If it's a clear goal scoring opportunity, but you're attempting to play the ball, that's a yellow card.
I think it only apply in the
In the
penalty
penalty box?
box where you have the issue of double jeopardy where they give in a penalty and still the red card. So they're saying if there's an issue where it happens and there's a penalty, then they would give a yellow. But outside the box is a red. And Virgil should have no complaints. He kicked through the man to get the ball. I mean, he could have complaints with his teammates that allow the pass so easily, but not with the referee.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I mean, and then I mean, VAR obviously is always every weekend is always a topic of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to they had this other thing. I don't know if you guys heard it. Mike Dean was a former Premier League referee.
Yeah,
he was on Simon Jordan's podcast, and he kind of said that I think it was a Chelsea game that he didn't want Anthony Taylor to go look at the monitor because he's his friend, and he didn't want to put him in that position or whatever, Yeah. And I mean, to me, I understand the human angle of these things, but when you're talking about decisions where thousands or sometimes millions of dollars hinge upon these decisions, then there's no room for this friend business, and I think what Howard Webb, in my opinion, you guys tell me what you think, but I think Howard Webb needs to look at, not necessarily, because anybody can learn the rules of football, but not anybody could be a referee, right? To me, you get people who are good at the technology, who understand the technology, who understand how to use it, and maybe you give them courses to teach them the game. Maybe they have interest in the game, maybe they are football fans or whatever, that they can learn the rules and all these things, and they have the capability of using the technology. Because one of the things that Mike Dean said was he used to be terrified every time he would be the VAR referee because he wasn't comfortable using the technology. And you have some of those guys who are in their 40s, 50s, maybe almost 60 refereeing games. Them man, not going to be as comfortable as maybe a young.
Well, that's what Howard Webb was talking about. Howard Webb was also on TalkSport recently, and he was saying that refereeing is also like football players. Refereeing is not something you just wake up at 40 and decide I'm gonna be a ref. He said you have to work your way up from Sunday league through the ranks to be able to referee at that level, because it requires a certain skill set. So they have to figure out how to get a combination of the technology and the actual human element, right? Because it's not working right now. Weekend.
But I'm saying, so you might have people through the pipeline who maybe came through and maybe they're only good enough to be a championship ref or League 2 ref, but maybe they better at the technology. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody have something that they're good at, really, but it just depends. But I think trying to fit. I mean, I get what Howard Webb is saying, but in my opinion, if you're trying to fit somebody between teaching and technology and teaching a football fan who maybe who could referee, teaching where they understand and comfortable with technology and teaching them the football aspect, I think that might be, to me, a little easier.
I mean, it doesn't have to be the same person. You could have one that good at one and one good at the other, and together they make a decision.
They do. Yep, that's true as well. So,
they have a team though.
Yeah.
In the VR booth. So I don't understand why it can't be a combination.
The other problem too is not everybody refereeing the same game, and we have rules where you have the application of it, and different refs have different ideas of how to apply it. So that's where the inconsistency come from. Look, if there was a handball last week, one ref might think that was not worthy of a penalty, another one might say penalty. So that's where us as fans will say, look at that. Last week they give it, this week they don't give it, but it's different referees.
Right. But wasn't there a handball today? Was that
today? Was City game? They penalty on through. Yeah.
Right.
And we get something. Liverpool got something similar in the Champions League final a couple of years back. A player raised their hand, and I mean, it's down to the ref. But I just want to see some consistency in the application of it. No, we can't have 100%, but we can get to at least a 75.
Yeah, I was playing cricket today, and one of the umpires, the guy bowled a ball to me. It was a white ball, right? So it was a no ball. So he bowled the next ball, and I run down the wicket to try to hit the ball, and he bowled the ball wide. The umpire tell me it's not a white because I leave my crease and I walk around on the wicket. I tell him, man, that's not the case. That,
A white
but
ball is a white ball.
yeah, I didn't agree with him. But when the other team was batting, one of the guys did something similar, and he say he ain't calling it a white. So I told him, you know what? I don't agree with you, but I respect your consistency.
Inconsistency.
You check because he trying to give me all this explanation. I know you're wrong, but I just figure if he gives both teams the same thing, then that's fine. They'll deal with it. So I think the biggest thing is the consistency. I mean, the game against Spurs, Romero was going down and his hand was all up in the sky and the ball hit his hand, and and it was further away than the ball that hit the guy hand today for Sheffield United, and they gave City a penalty.
Yeah.
So I mean, all is well at end well. I mean, Haaland didn't score it, so that was good.
The police, as we say.
Yeah. But yeah, man.
I think my highlight for the weekend was not in the Premier League, no?
Where was it?
Messi.
Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me, buddy. Yeah.
That goal. Just that, I don't know, that whole sequence of play was just.
I've seen multiple angles of it now from all different degrees, and every time I see it, the pass was looking more crazy.
No, what that killed me, got me was the Jordi Alba bicycle kicking to keep that ball alive.
Yeah.
That itself was madness,
I mean, just imagine watching the game live, fellas,
Yeah. But that Messi basically that was an assist to himself. That was like a wall pass.
Yeah. The interesting thing I was thinking, right? I went to the game. I was sitting in the stadium, and every time Messi touched the ball, like the crowd just, everybody just get excited, even if it's just a regular pass.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, boy, when Messi was a little boy, he had talent and all that, but I mean, did his parents or anybody's life ever think that, he would be at that level? Like, that level of fame where everybody knows who you are. Like, because he didn't start the game. I came down like, oh, Messi's on the bench. I'm like, what's going on, man? Like everybody come to see Messi. But anyway, in the 30 minutes he played, I mean, the guy looked like he's not in the game. The guy don't look like he's taking part in a football game. But when the ball come to him, he have like almost like a switch that he just turns on, and he always ready. His touches. I mean, I'm very happy to see the game, and that pass, because I was sitting at an angle on the other end of the field that they were attacking to, so I didn't see the pass like how I see it on TV. I just see him kind of go outside of his foot and then run inside and tap the ball in the goal. So I'm like, but the thing is, I was watching the whole game and I didn't see anybody in the entire game try anything where quick 1-2s and those type of plays. So I was thinking, I'm like, the level of intelligence he had, because as soon as he played the ball out, boom, and even the defenders, they were still sleeping because he was basically got a free tapping,
Yeah.
And then another thing, you had Jordi Alba in that game, but Sergio Busquets came off the bench, and while that man is leg and slow and thing, but that man, everywhere the ball was, the boy Mister was there, boy. Everywhere the ball was, he was.
How about Messi changing Inter Miami fortunes, but Busquets and them other guys, they really make a difference,
Oh yeah,
man.
Inter Miami couldn't barely keep possession of the ball. Right now, Busquets really come down the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, man.
To me, Busquets underrated. I don't know.
I don't know about underrated now. I think he rated. I don't know. I don't think he overrated, but I think he's rated.
Yeah.
Well,
because I mean that man have played in some of the best teams in football ever. If you look at what not just for Barcelona but for Spain as well. So
yeah.
So yeah, man. I mean, it was nice to go to the game and see Messi and stuff. Right now, I can tell Kai saw both Messi and Ronaldo play football. And Kai started sorting Messi. Everybody said Messi. So they have no idea what you're looking at, but it's fine.
Just stop.
Yeah, man. So before we go, we'll go over the fixtures for next weekend coming up. It's Labor Day weekend, so my people, we'll have a show on Monday. We ain't gonna have no show on Sunday because
correct is right.
We're gonna be out of it. So
I know what out of it. I might be out.
no, I'll be out of it too. This weekend, I plan on.
According to a part, you lose like a goose.
I loose like a goose. Yeah. So all right. So this Friday we have first game on Friday.
Again.
Luton hosting their first home game, Premier League game.
First Premier League game ever.
Yeah,
First Premier League game at the stadium.
At the stadium, yeah.
Yeah.
The West Ham. Then you have Saturday morning. You have Sheffield United, Everton. That's a big game. I mean, that's a 6-pointer right there.
Mm-hmm.
Brentford, Bournemouth. You have Burnley and Spurs. See that? Say again.
Spurs will be an interesting one.
Apart from the first game, I haven't seen Burnley play, So
yeah, neither have I. 10 o'clock Saturday morning. I don't know, maybe sleeping. Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, City, Fulham, and then to round off Saturday, you have Brighton, Newcastle. This is going to be a good game. This is going to be a good game.
Yeah. That one I'll tune in for sure.
That one we saw them play in the preseason.
Yeah.
Yes.
Came back and win in the last 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, there's for so many chances in that game. They both teams.
Yeah.
Then the Sunday, you have Sunday morning Wolves away to Crystal Palace. You have Villa away to Liverpool, playing at Anfield. And to round off the weekend, you have a little game between Arsenal and Manchester United. Sunday at 11:30. So that is the Labor Day weekend of games. After that week, I think you have an international break.
Yeah.
Before the season continues. So that's a good place. We'll come back on Monday next week to talk about, the season so far. What are some of our biggest takeaways? And we want you guys to call in and give us your opinions. We don't want to just come on here and just talk about our own feelings and stuff. We want to see how you guys feel, how you think your team is doing so far. What do you think, you need to do? And then the other thing is that the transfer window will be closed the next time we come back.
Correct.
So we'll be able to discuss, if any teams make any more signings on deadline day or before.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I mean, I keep hearing, Brad, that Mo Salah plays last game for Liverpool. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, if he has 120 million or more, have to talk, and that 120 million have to go back in the market and talk.
My money have to talk.
I mean, if Liverpool, if I hear them rumors there, I would have definitely start. In case something happens, you have to have something you can trigger.
Apparently, they're lining up talks with Juventus for Chiesa if Salah happen to depart.
Oh, okay. Chiesa, I read Chiesa. Chiesa is a good player.
That would be a good signing.
I'm actually surprised that the English team hasn't gone for him yet. But I don't know.
He was injured for a while last year as well. He was out for a long period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then we haven't spoken a lot about FIFA, but we are average FIFA players, and anybody wants a challenge, Kerry, ready to take it on. So,
pro clubs.
Oh, yeah. We have all clubs running still.
Yep. So, new FIFA players.
New FIFA comes out in about a month.
End of September.
Yeah, so looking forward to that, and then.
Yeah, man. But anybody want to challenge us in pro clubs, we are wrong. Just send us a message. And we'll take you guys on, And if you guys can beat us, then you can come and talk. But I don't think you guys will beat us. So I just wait on the gauntlet.
Next FIFA pro clubs will be fully crossplay as well.
Oh, that's but a crossplay thing was giving me headache and foot, so I don't know.
Ultimate Team is a game mode where people put money in, so you have cheaters, you have people that are more desperate to win. Pro clubs is a more casual game mode.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, fellas, it's been fun. We'll be back next week, Monday. Share the word, share the live. Anybody who didn't catch the episode, it will be on YouTube. You can always go back and watch it. And don't forget to please like, subscribe to our channel. That's how we're gonna try to grow this show and keep it going and keep it coming for you guys. All right. With that said, everybody, have a very good night, and we'll see you guys next time.